All praise is for Allah, the one who heals hearts that the world has broken, who listens when no one else does, and who never leaves his servants even for the blink of an eye. My dear brothers and sisters, today's reminder is for the ones who are feeling alone, unseen, or forgotten. For those whose hearts are aching silently, whose smiles hide pain, whose souls are weary, but still holding on. This message is for you. Sometimes Allah chooses certain souls for special journeys. Journeys that are heavy, painful, and confusing. And you may ask, why me? But what if I told you that your loneliness, your heartbreak, your tears are not signs that Allah has abandoned you, but signs that Allah has chosen you? Let's reflect together on this, on the 5 powerful reasons why Allah chooses certain people to experience loneliness, pain, and deep spiritual transformation. When you feel lonely, it's easy to assume you've been forgotten. You look around and see everyone moving forward, friends getting married, others achieving their dreams, and you wonder, why not me? But sometimes Allah isolates you not to punish you, but to purify you. He removes distractions, attachments, and temporary love so your heart can finally hear His voice clearly again. Loneliness can be one of the most sacred gifts because it strips you of everything that was keeping you away from Allah. When no one is there to listen, you start talking to Him. When no one understands, you begin pouring your heart to Him. And when you realize that people can't heal what hurts deep inside, you turn back to the one who created that heart in the first place. That's not abandonment. That's divine attention. There are times Allah will close every door around you, so you learn that He was the only door that mattered. You might call it heartbreak, loss, or isolation, but from Allah's perspective, it's mercy. Because the closer you are to people, the more your heart begins to depend on them. And Allah loves you too much to let you depend on something temporary. So He removes what's fleeting to bring you back to what's eternal, Himself. The Prophet A said, when Allah loves a servant, He tests them. That means your pain isn't random. Your heartbreak, your tears, your silence, all of them are signs that Allah is working within you. He's calling you to detach from the world and reconnect with Him. The pain you're feeling isn't the end. It's the beginning of something far deeper, a spiritual awakening. When you start seeing your loneliness as an invitation to closeness with Allah, everything changes. You stop feeling empty and start feeling chosen. You begin to realize that the night you spent crying wasn't wasted. It was recorded. Every tear was seen, every whisper heard. Allah didn't ignore you. He was waiting for that moment when your heart would finally turn back to Him sincerely. Sometimes the only way to bring you closer is to make you feel alone, because only then do you remember that He was always there. So if you're feeling lonely today, don't see it as a curse. See it as a sacred call, a whisper from your Creator saying, come back to me, my servant. I miss your voice in dua. When something inside you breaks, when you feel like a part of your heart will never heal, that's not the end of your story. That's the place where Allah's light begins to enter. Sometimes it is only through brokenness that your heart becomes soft enough to receive His mercy. You see, a perfect heart that has never been cracked cannot absorb light, just like a sealed vessel cannot take in water. But when life breaks you, when you lose someone you love, when your plans fall apart, when your tears fall without stopping, those cracks in your soul become openings for divine light to enter. Allah allows the heart to break not to destroy you, but to rebuild you into someone purer, wiser, and more compassionate. Every scar carries a story of survival. Every wound becomes a reminder of your strength. Every moment you thought you couldn't go on, yet you did. That was Allah carrying you when you couldn't carry yourself. Sometimes we need to fall apart so we can finally fall into sujud. The world teaches us to hide our pain, to appear strong even when we're crumbling inside. But Allah doesn't ask you to hide it. He asks you to bring it to Him. He says, call upon me, I will respond to you. Quran 4:6. When you raise your hands and whisper your pain to Allah, you're not complaining, you're trusting. You're saying, why Allah? You know this wound better than I do, and I know only you can heal it. That act of surrender is where transformation begins. Pain has a way of revealing what truly matters. When you're broken, you stop chasing the temporary and start longing for the eternal. You begin to understand that nothing in this world lasts. Not love, not wealth, not comfort. And in that realization, you find something more valuable than anything the world can offer: contentment with Allah's decree. Because once your heart attaches to Him, no loss can destroy you. Look at the prophets. Every one of them was broken in some way before they were elevated. Prophet Yaqub A.S. lost his beloved son and cried until he lost his sight, yet his pain brought him closer to Allah. Prophet Yunus A.A.S. was swallowed by darkness in the belly of a whale, but from that darkness came one of the most beautiful daws. There is no God but you, glory be to you. Indeed, I was among the wrongdoers. Quran 21:87. Every prophet's hardship was a preparation for greatness. Your pain is no different. The brokenness you feel now may one day become your greatest source of strength, because when Allah heals a heart, He heals it in a way that it can never be broken the same way again. The pieces that come back together after trusting Allah are stronger, pure, and more resilient. So don't hide your pain. Transform it into prayer. Don't curse your trials. Thank Allah for the lessons hidden within them. For sometimes the very thing that broke you is the same thing that will bring you closest to Him. Sometimes Allah pulls you away from people, from distractions, and from the noise of the world, not to punish you, but to purify you. What feels like isolation is often divine preparation. When everyone leaves, when your messages go unanswered, when you sit alone wondering why life feels empty, know that this silence is sacred. It's Allah calling you back to Him, because sometimes He removes everyone from your life just to show you that He is enough. When you're surrounded by people, it's easy to lose yourself in their opinions, in their validation, in their company. But when Allah isolates you, He is teaching you to depend only on Him. He is teaching you that peace doesn't come from people. It comes from prayer. That comfort doesn't come from conversations. It comes from connection with your Creator. Allah takes away worldly attachments to strengthen your spiritual ones. If you look closely, some of your deepest growth happened when you were alone. That season when no one understood you, when your dua was the only conversation you had left. That's when your soul truly spoke. That's when you learned that solitude with Allah is not loneliness, it's intimacy. You see, the world confuses isolation with emptiness, but in reality, that isolation is filled with mercy. It's where hearts are cleansed, where tears are accepted, and where faith is reborn. Every prophet went through isolation before elevation. Prophet Musa A.S. spent years in exile before being chosen to lead his people. Prophet Yusuf A.S. was abandoned in a well, sold into slavery, and imprisoned. Yet from that isolation, Allah raised him to power and honor. Prophet Muhammad Eve used to retreat to the cave of Hira before revelation descended upon him. Solitude is not the end of your journey, it's the beginning of something extraordinary. So when Allah isolates you, don't rush to escape it. Sit with it. Feel it. Talk to Allah in it. Because sometimes the most beautiful conversations happen in the silence of the night when it's just you and Him. Every tear that falls in that solitude is seen. Every sigh that escapes your chest is heard. And every broken prayer you whisper is written. Not a single one goes unnoticed. Isolation strips you of illusion. It teaches you that people may love you, but they can never heal you. The world may comfort you, but it can never fill the emptiness inside. Only Allah can do that. And when you come out of that isolation, you'll be different, softer, wiser, stronger. you'll look back and realize that what felt like abandonment was actually protection, that what felt like rejection was divine redirection. So if you're in a season of solitude, don't see it as a punishment. See it as a gift. Because it means Allah has chosen you for a private meeting, a personal lesson, a deeper connection. It's in that quiet space that Allah molds you for what's coming next. You're not alone. You're being prepared. There are moments in life when nothing makes sense. You try, you pray, you give your best, yet things fall apart. Doors you thought were meant for you close suddenly. People you counted on walk away. You find yourself questioning, why? Ya Allah, why is this happening to me? But this is where faith is truly tested. It's easy to believe when everything is clear, but real faith is believing even when you don't understand. Allah's plan is not meant to always be understood. It's meant to be trusted. He sees what you cannot see. He knows what you do not know. What you perceive as a setback might be a shield protecting you from something harmful. Sometimes Allah delays what you want because He's preparing you for something far greater than what you asked for. You might be praying for a drop, but Allah wants to give you an ocean. He's just making sure you're ready to handle it. Think of the story of Prophet Yusuf, A.S. From being thrown into a well, sold as a slave, and imprisoned. Every chapter of his life seemed unfair. Yet, every event was part of a perfect plan leading him to the throne of Egypt. If he had not been betrayed by his brothers, he would never have ended up in Egypt. If he hadn't been imprisoned, he wouldn't have met the man who later recommended him to the king. Each pain had purpose. Every delay carried divine wisdom. When you can't see the wisdom in what's happening, trust the one who is all-wise. Allah never wastes your tears, your effort, or your patience. Every disappointment, every heartbreak, every unanswered dua is shaping you, softening your heart, and pulling you closer to Him. Sometimes Allah breaks your heart to save your soul. He takes something away not to deprive you, but to replace it with something purer, better, and lasting. You might not understand now, but one day you will look back and say, Subhanallah, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. That's how Allah works, quietly, precisely, and always with mercy. You are living a story authored by the most loving, and every twist in that story is written with purpose. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. So instead of asking, why? Start asking, what? What is Allah trying to teach me through this? Because every difficulty carries a lesson, and every delay hides a blessing. Trusting Allah doesn't mean you'll never feel pain. It means you choose to believe that there's goodness even in the pain. It means that even when your heart is breaking, you whisper, Alhamdulillah. When you truly trust Allah, you stop chasing control. You stop needing to understand everything. You surrender, and that surrender brings peace. You stop worrying about the outcome because you know the author of your story never makes mistakes. And when you hand over your heart fully to Him, that's when He gives you something priceless, contentment, the kind of peace that doesn't depend on what's happening around you, but on who you're placing your trust in. So hold on. Don't rush Allah's timing. Every unanswered dua, every detour, and every delay is a hidden mercy. Allah is not ignoring you. He's aligning everything perfectly for the right moment. Your job is to trust. His job is to deliver. And He never fails His promises. Every pain you've ever felt, every heartbreak that tore you apart, every sleepless night filled with tears, none of it was wasted. Allah does not allow pain in your life without purpose. He is too merciful to hurt you without reason. Sometimes the very thing that broke you is the thing that wakes you up. It's the moment you realize that the world will always fail you, but Allah never will. When Allah allows pain, He is not abandoning you. He is rebuilding you. You see, pain has a way of purifying the heart. It strips away pride. It melts away arrogance. And it brings you back to your knees where you belong, in sujud, whispering, Why, Allah? I need you. Pain teaches you what comfort never could. It reminds you that you are not in control, that nothing in this world is guaranteed, and that true peace can only come from the one who created peace itself. Think about it. Some of your strongest prayers were born from your deepest pain. When everything was easy, maybe your dua was rushed. But when your heart shattered, you cried to Allah with sincerity. That's the beauty of pain. It purifies your intention. It transforms your relationship with Allah from casual to intimate, from words to tears, from routine to love. Allah uses your heartbreak to heal your soul. Every scar you carry has a story, not of weakness, but of survival. Maybe Allah allowed that heartbreak so you would stop chasing the wrong people and start seeking Him. Maybe that loss was His way of freeing you from something that was holding you back. Maybe that delay, that disappointment, was Allah's mercy disguised as rejection. Because sometimes what you thought was destroying you was actually protecting you. Allah says in the Quran, perhaps you hate something and it is good for you, and perhaps you love something and it is bad for you. Allah knows while you do not know. A 2216. This ayah is the foundation of peace. It teaches us that pain is not punishment. It's purification. It's preparation. Allah uses your wounds to teach you compassion, to deepen your faith, and to make you a light for others who are hurting. One day, you'll meet someone going through the same pain you once experienced, and you'll be able to say, I understand. You'll comfort them, guide them, and remind them of Allah because you've been there. That's how Allah transforms your pain into purpose. He turns your tests into tools to help others. He turns your suffering into strength. And suddenly, what once broke you becomes your greatest source of wisdom and empathy. So don't resent your pain. Rise from it. Let it refine you, not define you. Let it draw you closer to Allah. Because the truth is, the people who have cried the most in front of Allah are often the ones whose hearts shine the brightest. Their tears became their teacher. Their patience became their power, and their pain became their purpose. One day, you will thank Allah for the very things you once asked Him to take away. You'll see how every heartbreak led you home, back to Him. Because in the end, nothing is truly lost when it brings you closer to Allah.